While it may not seem like it, there is in fact a pattern to every NFL team's spending habits.
Carson Wentz and Matt Ryan and Phillip Rivers, and now we're on Daniel Jones.
Let's take a look around the NFL and identify every team's most tried and true pattern when it comes to free agency. Arizona Cardinals, old running backs. The Arizona Cardinals haven't exactly been the most reliable running back factory in the game. Perhaps it's because they love giving the ball to guys on their last legs. Evan Smith, Edgerrin James, Chris Johnson, even James Conner to some extent. Atlanta Falcons, overpriced defensive ends. Atlanta is one of those teams that always seems to be in the market for more help with the pass rush, from Dante Fowler to Bud Dupree to Ray Edwards. The Falcons just can't quit dropping bags on edge rushers who never quite live up to the hype. Baltimore Ravens, old wide receivers. The Baltimore Ravens haven't traditionally been the best at developing wide receivers, so I guess it makes sense that they look for vets like Steve Smith, Anquan Boldin, and Odell Beckham Jr. on the backside of their careers. Buffalo Bills, value shopping. Bills GM Brandon Beane loves a value deal. It's all about building depth with under-the-radar guys who fit the culture that they can plug and play alongside the talented core that they've developed. Carolina Panthers, clearance rack O-line. Every year, they try to duct tape a line together with journeyman and maybe he has one good year left in him types. It's no wonder that they're never able to develop a quarterback. Chicago Bears, signing defensive vets 1 year too late. Like we saw with Grady Jarrett signing earlier this offseason, Chicago has a great propensity to look for guys that are always just a little bit past their prime. Cincinnati Bengals, avoiding free agency altogether. If there's one thing that the Bengals ownership hates, it's spending money. In addition to being notoriously cheap when it comes to re-signing their own talent. Cleveland Browns, recreate the longest yard. Kareem Hunt, Deshaun Watson, need I say more? If you've got baggage and talent, the Browns are usually first in line with an offer. Dallas Cowboys, bringing back former Cowboys. The Dallas Cowboys have started to develop a curious pattern. They frequently let guys walk, then re-sign them once they're past their prime 2 years later, a la Ezekiel Elliott. Or, they just avoid spending altogether. Denver Broncos, veteran quarterback. Denver finally zagged last year, bringing in rookie quarterback Bo Nix through the draft. A shift which, by the way, appears to be paying off in spades. But prior to Sean Payton choosing his guy, Denver was the place that veteran quarterbacks, from Peyton Manning's Last Dance to the Joe Flacco He's Still Elite experiment, around the league could look to for a soft landing spot. Detroit Lions, locker room guys. Dan Campbell isn't out here signing divas. I mean, think about guys like Alex Anzalone and David Montgomery in recent years. All heart and grit. Green Bay Packers only signing defensive playmakers. This is true dating back to their biggest free agent signing in history, Reggie White, all the way through Charles Woodson, Adrian Amos, and most recently, Xavier McKinney. Houston Texans, short-term deals on defense. If you're a defensive player signing with the Texans, it's sort of like the NFL version of speed dating. Nick Caserio's running the front office like he's still in New England. Minus the rings to justify all the madness. Indianapolis Colts, Band-Aid quarterbacks. Every March, Chris Ballard seems to go after a new, old quarterback. Whether it be Carson Wentz, Matt Ryan, Joe Flacco, or most recently Daniel Jones, the Colts absolutely love retreads. Jacksonville Jaguars, overpay for a pass catcher. Every few years or so, they drop a Brinks truck on someone, usually a wide receiver or pass-catching tight end, cough cough Evan Ingram, and then soon after realize that the deal just wasn't worth it. Kansas City Chiefs, ring-chasing wide receivers. Once Patrick Mahomes became the NFL's latest cheat code, Kansas City turned into the league's most desirable timeshare for aging veterans chasing jewelry. Every March, the Chiefs open the door for guys who've already cashed their checks and just want to hold a Lombardi trophy before the curtain drops. Las Vegas Raiders, speed. Al Davis may be gone, but the stopwatch still runs the front office. Reliably catching the ball, on the other hand, well, that's entirely optional. Los Angeles Chargers, injury-prone veterans. It's almost as if signing a contract with the Chargers comes attached with a complimentary workers' compensation claim, with the way that the big names they bring in through free agency always seem to end up missing time. Los Angeles Rams, former Chargers. If you're already in Los Angeles, but most recently played for the Chargers, Rodgers, then hey, there's a good chance you got a contract offer the moment you hit the market from the Rams, who've made a bit of a habit of coveting their neighbors' players. Miami Dolphins only goes after the fastest skill position players. To the untrained eye, it may look like Miami is not building a football team, but rather assembling a 4x100 squad. If you run a 4.3 or better, Chris Greer's probably got your 40 time printed on his office wall. Minnesota Vikings, defensive depth. The Vikings are addicted to solid depth. Not stars, not the guys who look good on paper, but the type of players that make more of a difference in December and January than they do in March. New England Patriots, overpaying for names. For 2 decades, Bill Belichick treated free agency like a clearance rack at Marshall's. But now that Bill is gone, they've been forced to swing the other way and overpay for aging talent, like Stephon Diggs, to try and bring some semblance of the Patriots' way back to Foxborough. New Orleans Saints, veteran safeties. 3 big names jump out on this one: Tyrann Mathieu, Malcolm Jenkins, Marcus May. The Saints seem to love the experience in their defensive secondary and continue to go after guys that may have lost a step, but make up for it in football IQ and gamesmanship. New York Giants, injured offensive linemen. Every March, they throw money at guys who are either finally healthy again or expected to be ready by camp. Then, by October, they're back in sweatpants watching from the sideline. New York Jets, divas. If you're loud, brash, and disruptive, both in the locker room as much as on the field, the Jets are probably interested. Aaron Rodgers and Hassan Reddick came in a trade, but Le'Veon Bell, Tremaine Johnson, man, the Jets have a long history of signing guys that aren't always team first. No, they act like they're casting for hard knocks more than anything else. Philadelphia Eagles, low risk, high upside defensive playmakers. I guess it is one of the perks of having one of the most consistent teams in the league, in a market that absolutely loves football, but Eagles GM Howie Roseman shops free agency like he's at a flea market. And man, this guy knows where to find the deals. Pittsburgh Steelers, guys that fit the Steelers' way. Pittsburgh doesn't recruit, they indoctrinate. The Steelers' free agent board isn't sorted by talent, it's sorted by character. They usually stick to the program and only bring in guys that are ready to bow down to the legendary Rooney name. The San Francisco 49ers sign away from rivals. In trying to build a contender, the Niners also seek to weaken the ones around them. Every single March, John Lynch seems to flip on game tape and starts circling names. Javon Hargrave from the Eagles, Charvarius Ward from the Chiefs, and you know, we can't say that we hate the strategy. If it works, it works. Seattle Seahawks, not spending on offensive linemen. This has been a massive black eye on the Seahawks' approach to free agency dating all the way back to the Russell Wilson days. They would much rather try and piece together an O-line on the cheap than invest any kind of real money in it via free agency. Over the last 5 years, they've regularly been among the lowest spenders at the position, and they seem determined to stick to that method regardless of the outcome. Tampa Bay Buccaneers, old pass catchers. Maybe it's the time-honored tradition of older folk in South Florida that they're honoring, but the Buccaneers always seem to go after veteran pass catchers. Obviously, the Gronk and Tom Brady dynamic was a bit of an outlier, but it has remained true in recent years. Keeping Chris Godwin around, adding Sterling Shepard. Hopefully, they can find the same magic with Baker Mayfield that the vets that came in to play with Brady did. Tennessee Titans, former first-rounders. If your NFL career started with a handshake on stage, but your rookie contract ended with a shoulder shrug, odds are the Titans have already called, thinking that they can be the ones to run your reclamation project. Tennessee has quietly cornered the market on former first-rounders who fizzled somewhere else but still carry that whiff of upside. Guys like Bud Dupree and Vic Beasley. The only problem is that they haven't exactly been the best at actually redeveloping these players once they scoop them up. Washington Commanders, overpaying for the inside of the trenches. Washington's free agency strategy is pretty dang simple. Throw money at the trenches. Doesn't matter if the offense can't score, as long as they have two $90 million guards and 5 interior D linemen, well, the rest of the positional needs seem to just go out the window. Never mind the year that they risked it all on Albert Haynesworth. This strategy seems downright doomed. But hey, what is your favorite NFL team's free agency spending habit? Who do you think we're right on here? Who do you think we're wrong about? Was there anything notable that we may have missed? Let us know in the comments section below. If you liked this video and learned a thing or two, then hey, clicking that like button helps us out a ton. And you know, we really appreciate it. If this is your first time coming around to TPS though, then subscribing is a great idea because we put out videos like this every single day. But as always, thanks for watching and we'll see you guys next time.